Hello NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of The Rundown. On this week's show, we'll continue to focus in our attention on NCAA postseason play, as 7 teams and a select number of individual participants will be again in action this weekend at national championship events. Following last Saturday's Great Lakes Regional cross-country race held at Rose-Hulman, the NCAC will be sending 3 teams and 6 individual runners to the national championship race, which is set for this Saturday, November 21st at the Lake Breeze Golf Club in Winnicott, Wisconsin. Wabash won the Great Lakes Regional crown for the 3rd year in a row after narrowly edging league foe Allegheny in the team standings by a 99-101 margin. As the first and second place finishers, the Little Giants and Gators both qualified to compete at the national meet. In addition to their team success, Oberlin senior Gino Arthur continued his red-hot season by becoming the first individual regional champion in school history after breaking the tape on the 8K course in 25-13. Joining Arthur as individual qualifiers for the national race are DePaul freshman Paul Christian and the Ohio Wesleyan duo of senior Zach Geiger and sophomore John Sotos. On the women's side, Allegheny earned the top team finish at the regional meet of any NCAC team in 3rd place with 129 points. However, the Gators did receive good news on Sunday as they were one of 16 teams across the nation to earn an at-large berth into the national meet. Joining the Gators in the women's race will be Ohio Wesleyan junior Sarah Fowler and DePaul junior Claudia Monet. Fowler was the NCAC's top individual finisher at the regional meet, in 6th with a time of 22:06, while Monet also cracked the top 10 in 9th with a time of 22:19. And we now head indoors, where the Wittenberg Tigers have qualified for the 8-team NCAA Division III Volleyball Championships for the first time since winning the national title in 2011. The Tigers cruised to the 8-team Juniata Regional last weekend with wins over Bluffton, Heidelberg, and host Juniata. 6th-ranked Wittenberg will now travel to Calvin College's Van Nord Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan for a national quarterfinal match at 3 p.m. on Thursday, November 19th against 18th-ranked Clarkson. The winner between Witt and Clarkson will then advance to the national semifinals on Friday at 5 p.m. against either Hendricks or Bethel. The other side of the national bracket includes quarterfinal matches between Carthage and Randolph-Macon and Cal Lutheran and Bowdoin. The national championship match is set for Saturday at 7 p.m. in Michigan. In men's soccer, a pair of NCAC squads advanced to the 3rd round of the national tournament via PKs last Sunday. After knocking off Westminster, Pennsylvania 1-0 in the opening round on Saturday, Kenyon was deadlocked with Chicago after regulation and 2 overtime periods. But after junior Sam Clower came up with 2 huge saves, junior Dalton Udi eventually nailed the advancing PK to send the Lords into the 3rd round. Kenyon will again play host to a 4-team pod in Gambier this weekend, with the Lords set to take on Tufts on Friday at 11 a.m. The winner will advance to the national quarterfinals on Saturday at 1 p.m. against either Calvin or Franklin and Marshall. It was a similar scenario for the DePaul men's soccer team last weekend, as the Tigers topped Westminster, Missouri 1-0 on Saturday before heading into PKs with host Wash U on Sunday. With the PK session tied at 7 each, DePaul freshman Justin Mitchell nailed his attempt, and the ensuing Wash U try sailed wide to push the Tigers into the 3rd round. DePaul will hit the road again this weekend, traveling to Dubuque, Iowa, to Loras College in Dubuque, Iowa, to take on the host Dewhawks on Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. The winner advances to the national quarterfinals to take on either St. Olaf or Wheaton, Illinois on Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And national quarterfinal winners will then advance to the semifinals and possible championship match set for December 4th and 5th at the Swope Soccer Village in Kansas City, Missouri. And finally, we wrap up this week's show on the gridiron as Wabash wrapped up its 7th North Coast football title last Saturday with a 45-17 victory over DePaul in the annual Monon Bell Classic. The Little Giants brought the bell back to Crawfordsville thanks in part to a record-setting day from senior running back Mason Zurich. The St. John, Indiana native was named the NCAA Offensive Player of the Week after he carried the ball 37 times for a school record 278 yards, which included touchdown runs of 4 and 10 yards. And as league champions, the Little Giants have secured the NCAA's automatic bid into the NCAA Division III Football Championships, where they will play host to Albion on Saturday, November 21st at 12 p.m. The winner advances to the second round against either Thomas More or Washington and Lee. Wabash leads the all-time series against the Britons by a narrow 18-17 margin, with the Little Giants coming away with a 38-20 victory in the last meeting, which also occurred in the opening round of the national tournament in 2005. And fans, be sure to check out the NCAA website over the weekend for up-to-date results on all the national championship events. And as always, NCAA sports fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. Well, that puts a wrap on this week's show, but be sure to join us again next week for another edition of The Rundown.